Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 611 podcast. It's your boy, Ryan Howard, along with
Jay to the Rizzo,
My man.
back at it again. Taking hot takes, trying to keep our listeners informed, give them something to think about. We're going naked today, meaning no guests. Not that we're taking off our clothes.
That's it.
I got dad bod going on right now. You on the other hand, you went the opposite way, big piece.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to get to medium piece.
Medium.
Yeah, we're trying to get medium.
I don't even know if that exists with you.
Well, we just
I
invented
can
a new
I
word.
can sneak in a medium.
We invented a new word today.
Okay.
Medium. We're going medium.
But
today.
that's like
Actually, medium's been out there, bro.
but not in this context.
Okay.
This is the extra large medium, XL.
Okay.
Big and tall version.
Big and tall medium.
Big and
Okay.
tall
That'll
medium.
work. I'll take that. So it's you and me today. We're going to chop it up with everybody out here. And what we're going to talk about a little bit is, as we're getting into it, is October. And of course, you got to get into the postseason mentality.
And for those who don't know, October in the baseball season, just simply postseason,
Yes.
We like to call it October. Outside, they call it the postseason, but we see it as October.
Right.
It's Red October if you're from Philly. I'm sure Blue October if you're a Dodger fan. They just call it Blue Heaven out there.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't play for the
Well,
Dodgers, but
I
you did.
did.
But you could
So,
talk about that. You could talk about that.
But just the different things that comes with playing ball in October, aka the postseason, and we can't stop at that anymore because now it's November.
Right.
We got DJ, Mr. November, took over from Mr. Jackson, which was Mr. October. But yeah, it's different ball.
It is different.
And it's different. We went through it together.
Right.
I got in a few years before you. You laid on my couch for a little bit. Went to Wawa all the time. Shout out to Wawa. Holla at your boys. Went on to win Rookie of the Year, MVP. And then we finally made it to the playoffs in 2007. Talk about that moment. Because for me, and you alike, although I spent more time, trying to get there, but you alike, we heard the stories of what it's like to be a Philly. 1980 World Series and having to make our mark. And every player, when they're playing, wants to make that mark, no matter what organization. It doesn't matter who's come before you. It's our turn now. So just going back, prefacing that way, tell us what it was like, for you. We'll talk about my side also, but for you just to finally break that mold.
I would say for me, obviously having come in, my first call-up year was September of 2004. Had the opportunity in 2005 to come up, obviously, when Tommy got hurt. That was kind of my first taste of what it felt like for a playoff atmosphere.
Right, because we were
because we were close.
Close.
We didn't make it. We missed
short.
It. But that was what that playoff atmosphere felt like. And I think for myself, you being on a team, Chase was also on a team, Brett Myers was on a team, that kind of young nucleus from inside was starting to kind of get the taste of what it was like to win and be on the verge.
Right.
Now, for me, once we got to 2007, you made this statement. You made this very famous statement.
Or infamous if you're a New Yorker.
If you're a New Yorker,
If you're
you made
Philly,
this infamous statement.
we call it,
Exactly. And so
a proclamation.
we hadn't won anything. We hadn't done anything.
Hadn't really got close.
We didn't even win the division. We were nowhere close to really winning the division.
Right.
Like at best, we were trying to get a wild card spot.
For sure.
And you come out and you say, I think we're the team to beat. I'm like, oh, damn.
No, that ain't what you said.
I said, oh.
He said, oh,
well, I'm
shit.
trying to, yeah.
He said, oh,
I
shit.
did. I said,
fuck.
Jimmy done did it again. And so when you said it, it was like, well, why can't we be the team to beat? I was like, we can't leave him out here on this island by himself, so we got to go out here with him and have his back, which is what we did. Now, the Mets kind of fell apart.
For sure.
But we
had to do our part.
We did our part and did what we needed to do in order to make it. Thus, the craziness of the last week of that season in 2007.
Straight bananas.
It was insane.
Bananas.
It was insane. I will say, me personally, when we clinched on that last day, because when we came out, and we're warming up. It was already like 4-0 or something like that.
Oh,
and the crowd was cheering. We're playing in Philadelphia. Last game of the season, we need this game to clinch. The Mets are down, I think, to the Cardinals or whoever it was.
The Mets to the Marlins.
Oh, to the Marlins, yeah.
So the night before what happened, I think they hit Hanley in the ribs and started talking trash, and the Marlins were ready to go home. But they took it upon themselves. First of all, they already played the Mets well that season.
Right.
So now they're like, okay, we're going to do our part. It was almost like at that point they were pulling for us because of what happened.
Right.
You guys just go out there and beat us. So what? We're going home anyway. We're about to go fishing. We're in Miami.
Exactly.
But you guys want to start some trash. They showed up like all-stars. And I don't know if you remember, inside the clubhouse, you can hear something happening outside. Yeah. We didn't have any TVs on because we had to focus on what we needed to do. We had to go win a ball game. And you can hear the energy and you can hear the crowd just stomping and screaming and yelling. And I know to myself, I was like, don't get caught up with what's happening out there. You have a job to do. But there's also the little devil in your shoulders like, go look.
Right.
Go
like,
look.
What's happening?
Go look. And it's like, nope, focus. Go take a look. So I probably went out, I go out right on time. You know what I'm saying? There's no extra space. I go out right on time. But I went out about 5 minutes early.
What? Wait a minute. Time out.
I know.
First off, for all y'all who know Jimmy and those who don't, 5 minutes early is like 3 hours early.
Yeah.
For Jimmy showing up.
That's
to
a lot.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, I usually make within about the last 10 seconds. Yeah. And you guys would bet on me being late.
Oh, yeah.
And whoever bet against me, why would you bet against me?
There was no need to.
You know what I'm going to do.
I already knew what it was every time for stretch.
Anyhow, so I go out there 5 minutes early, and I didn't look at the scoreboard, Rye, because I didn't want to be disappointed. Even though I feel the energy, it's like I don't want to be disappointed. And either the Mets came back and tied it or it's a 1-0 ball game.
Right.
But I get out and I get up on the field. And I'm just trying to not look. I'm not looking. I'm looking at the crowd. They're going crazy. They're clapping. They're pointing. I'm like, don't look, don't look, don't look. But of course, the little dude on my right shoulder is like, look.
Whoop. Yep.
It was 5-0. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
All we have to do is win. And it's like I locked in. I felt that I had been pretty good all year, and we locked in for big games. We played Mets, I think, 7 games coming down out of that last
down that stretch,
17. Yeah. We won 6 or 7.
I think
we basically won every
game.
game. So it was like 6 out of 7. But this was different. It was elevated.
Yeah. It
was like the task is at hand. 1 game. That is it. We win today, we go on. And that helped propel us, not necessarily in 2007. We were finally getting out of 93 and breaking the mold of 1980. Like we finally got there and we went home fast. The Rockies were world beaters. They beat everybody. But it was like a different level of locking in. And it's hard to explain unless you've been there. Yeah. I didn't need rest. All I had was focus. I would go home. It was like I was taking power naps because I didn't want to shut down. They say, there's no off switch. There's no on and off switch. You have to be on.
Right.
That's what October or postseason ball is like. Like you're just on. I need fuel. I need just enough rest. I need focus. And that was it.
Yeah.
And that day was the first time I ever felt that. Where when I say ever, of course, like I said, there are games you lock in, but to that point where we win, we go on.
Yeah.
And although it was fast, I feel it prepared us for the next year in 08. We celebrated in 07. No goggles.
I will say this. I will say this about 07. I felt like when we clinched in 07 that we celebrated like we just won the World Series. Because I was like, man, this is great. But I'm like, damn, we kind of celebrating a little hard. Like we just made
but
the
we
playoffs.
Didn't know any better. We didn't know any better.
We did not understand the burn from alcohol and how it burns your eyes.
It burns.
So
I couldn't see.
Goggles.
I couldn't see for a day. It was just trying to get the film and stuff off. But with that said, yes, we got knocked out early, but it was well deserved from where we came. And for me personally, like you say, you guys had my back, and saying we're the team to beat. I didn't know it was going to grab the legs that it did, but I remember winning the division that year, and it felt like the weight of the world was off my shoulders.
Did you ever feel like you needed to change your routine like you said, you felt more focused when you got to the postseason?
Great question.
Like, did you ever feel like you needed to change your routine once you got into it? Because
great question.
The biggest thing is, I always say blackout, right?
Right.
Where it's like, you go up there, you hit the ball, you say, Ryan, bro, you didn't even swing. I was like, bro, I blacked out.
Right.
I don't even know what happened.
Right.
But it was something that either you were so focused or locked in to the point to where it was like, it all just came together.
So, I don't know if you remember, I asked Chase, and we were always, it's all our first time there. And that was my question, like, what do we do? Like, is it different? Like, do we try to focus even more? How do you focus more?
Right.
It happens, you know, but those were the questions. And it wasn't just for me. I wanted us all to think about it. So we all had one game plan like we had all season long. We, you know, our mentality was pass the baton. If they don't want you to do it, trust the next guy to do it. Don't go out there and be a hero and get yourself out when we have guys in the lineup that can definitely get the job done. And I remember asking that question because I consider myself a leader. I want to have that answer so I can provide it. So when guys ask also, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
I went out there, and for me, I'd say, you know what? Don't change.
Exactly.
It's worked all year long.
Yep.
Do not change.
You said it yourself.
Don't change.
You said it yourself. We had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what to expect. Like, I was thinking to myself, okay, we made the playoffs. Like, if I hit the ball, is it going to explode?
Right.
What?
Right.
But, you know,
a super curveball.
Right. Is it nastier?
Crazy.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it took that year for us to be able to understand because we were still somewhat of a young team.
Babies.
So we had never had that experience. But once we did get it, and it was like the buzzsaw that was the Rockies, like we didn't really stand a chance.
Ran through everybody in NL.
But
they didn't lose a game until they got to the World Series.
Right.
And that was with a week break. Yeah.
But the experience that we got from it, saying, like, as you just said, nothing changes. You still got to catch the ball. You still got to hit the ball. You still got to throw the ball, right? Nothing changes. The game doesn't change.
Right.
The lights get a little brighter.
Yep.
You want to however many teams that are still left, but you still got to go out and keep the same mentality of what it was that you were doing. Now it's even more so not putting pressure on yourself to execute, but like you said, it's leaning on each other to where if this guy can't get it done, it's the next man up. And that was that mentality that when we got into spring training, because you and I had the conversation, I remember in the outfield during batting practice, and you were like, why not us?
Right.
Why can't we?
Right.
Why can't we win?
Why not?
We've already gotten a recipe to where it was like, okay, we had unfinished business going into 2008 because now we knew what to expect and going in. Now, everybody's different. You know, like LeBron will go, 0 dark 30. He'll go off social media. We didn't really have social media like that.
Right.
But you just locked in, and it was one of those things to where you would look across the clubhouse and everybody would just look at each other and just know, like, I got to do my job today. And if somebody's coming off the bench, Dobbs came to the field with his bat, bro.
9-9. Remember that?
My man, Dobber was ready.
Hot.
Like, Dobber would have his bat in the first inning, knowing he was coming in to pinch hit. We like, Dobber, bro, you can put your bat down, bro. You're not hitting at least until the fifth.
Focus.
But the mentality.
He didn't want to lose it. That's what I'm about. There's no off switch. He was on. When I went home, I was on. When I came to the field, I was on.
Right.
I'm on watching the game, and when my time is called, I know what my assignment is. Right. And it's a beautiful thing. And I remember just having those moments where, as you said, we look at each other and nothing needs to be said.
Nope.
And there's no greater feeling. It's like, we're about to beat their ass. They don't know it yet.
They don't know it.
But we're about to beat their ass.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what the fight was. If you lost tonight, it's a series.
Right.
Okay, you guys got one. Congratulations. Y'all got to deal with us tomorrow. And as you said, that's something that you go through and you have to go through to experience it.
Right.
And then when you finally win, and I don't think we talk about that enough, or we haven't really talked about those moments. We celebrated, and everybody went their separate ways, and it was like, okay, well, I guess, that's it.
Yeah.
And we'll show up for spring training next year. But to have accomplished that with your brothers, man, it is special. Like, no one can tell you anything anymore. All the flaws you had coming to the season, all the bad articles, all the bad press, all the bad radio, all the boos, it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. Because at the end of the day, we accomplished what we set out to accomplish.
Right.
And for our city, we put on for the city the way they hope we would put on.
Right.
And they can never take that from us. Like, that's ours. That's
Right.
our thing. That's our thing with the city. We'll forever be champions. It's etched in stone. Speaking of Greg Dobbs,
Man.
you know, as I call him, 1999.
19.
And the fun thing is, we're in contact to this day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, he'll send text. I'll send text. We'll go play golf. He's a pretty good stick, by the way.
I believe it.
But, you know, the role that he played, he was a utility. I don't even know if utility was really a thing. Yeah. It's always been a thing, but he was Mr. Utility. He'll play third, he'll go play third. He'll go play outfield, he'll go play outfield. If he had to play first, he'll play first. You need a pinch hit, he'll come off the bench and hit. And he was a guy that we saw grow. When I say grow, his confidence went from, you know, bouncing around a little bit, getting here, finding his role, wanting to play more, got more playing time, then got the playing time taken away as everybody got healthy, and having to refigure that out.
Right.
But knowing that at one point, and we had conversations all the time. I don't know if you spoke with Dobbs, but I spoke with them all the time about confidence, being ready. Like, when you get your chance, you know, go out there and do your thing, because you're just as important. Just because you're not starting the game doesn't mean you're not important. When you come in and you're that pinch hit or a defensive replacement, you're that important that Charlie said, I want you in this position right now.
Right.
And I could see his mentality change. And I'm not taking any credit.
Right.
I was just doing my job as a leader because I know how important confidence is. So when he came up with big hits, I mean, he was hitting 275, went all the way down to like 220. But then as a pinch hitter, big hit, big hit, big hit. I didn't care about his average because I knew off the bench, outside of Matt Stairs was there for a specialty purpose. He's going to hit home runs.
Right.
But Dobbs, you're going to feel it. You're going to put that good at bat when it's earlier in the game.
Right.
Later in the game, those are going to be Stairs at bats. You have to understand your role. But he understood that and he took it.
You just said it, understanding your role. And it's like, I don't know if you had to go through this. I know I did, because we had this guy named Jim Tomey in front.
he was pretty good.
Yeah,
Hall
but
of
I
Famer.
mean, you know, I was able to do what I was able to do in the minor leagues, and obviously, you know, coming up to the big leagues and having Tome, who was amazing, and he was a great mentor for me as well. But I knew this is the man. My role is come off the bench. So I'm like, if this is what my job is for the time being, I'm gonna do the hell out of this job and understand what my role is. I may spot start here and there, but I may only get one at bat. So it's like when you have a relief pitcher coming in, right? You know that when you got to the tail end of the bullpen, you had Mad Dog coming in, you had JC coming in, and then you had Lidge. All, you know what your roles are. You know, if you're another reliever in the bullpen, I'm coming in before these three guys.
Right.
So
shout out to Clay Condry.
Yeah.
He was
my man.
solid.
Hey, Chad Durbin.
Man,
shout outs.
Shout outs.
All y'all, bro. And then Scotty Air. Let's not forget about chicken wing.
Sleepy,
old chicken wing.
Sleeper. I mean, he came over
3-piece
late.
with a biscuit. Chicken wing. That's it, bro. Like, those guys all knew their roles. And that's what Dauber do.
Yes.
And that's what made him so good, is that when you had that conversation and then you understood what your role was, it's like, okay, when I go up here, I'm going to battle. I'm going to try to win, because we knew Stairsy was like the closer.
Right.
Dobbs was like the setup man, right?
100%.
So whereas, like you said, he's hitting earlier.
Analogy.
Stairsy will tell you he's coming in to do one thing and one thing only. He's trying to put the ball in the seats.
Not a walk, strike out, hit a home run.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. He didn't want to run the bases.
No, he didn't.
He wanted to jog.
That's why it's either strikeouts or home run.
Yeah, and he'll tell you that to this day. But when you understood what your role is, and I wonder with like today's game, like as we look at that, like how much more do we either see something like that? Because everybody it seems like kind of has the same role of like, hey, I'm going up here, I'm swinging.
Right.
People were trying to hit homers and doing all that, where we lose a lot of those. I feel like those roles where it was like you and Shane would hit 1-2, vice versa. And it was like, if one guy got on, if you got on, Shane's bunting you over. Right. You don't see that really in this game. Now you see it at times during the postseason.
And guess what? They haven't practiced it all season long.
Right.
How do they expect them to execute?
Right.
That's a great call, but not to jump in. But
but you see it sometimes where now all of a sudden small ball comes in because you understand
the importance.
That when you get to the postseason, runs are fewer and far between. They're few and far in between.
And to that, I still think it exists.
I do.
As far as the roles, I just think it's left to position players and has gone to the bullpen. Pitchers, what are they required to do now? Starting pitcher,
right?
Even the great ones, give us 5 innings.
Yeah.
If you look great, we'll leave you out there. Sometimes, not even all the time, because the number's going to say the third round through, batting averages go up. It doesn't matter what my eyeball test is saying.
Right.
I can see that you're dominating.
Right.
The numbers say over time you're going to get beat.
Right.
True. So I think that role has just been flipped to the bullpen. That's why we have guys coming in a 6th inning throwing 100, and a 7th inning throwing 100, and an 8th inning throwing 100, and a closer throwing 105.
Right.
And so I get why they do it. And as a hitter, I wouldn't like it.
No.
Leave that starter in there. I don't care how dominant he is. Leave him in there because at some point he's going to fatigue, he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
But you have these specialists coming out the bullpen throwing 100.
Yep.
And it's a new arm. The next time I'm up there, that's tough.
It's a different situation because it almost reminds me of spring training where you see the starting pitcher for like 2 innings.
Yep.
And you're just starting to get used to it. And then they start bringing in another guy and then another guy and then another guy. Our goal was, we wanted to get the pitcher out by the 5th inning.
Yeah. Because we want
him to stay in now.
We want those bullpen arms.
we want him to stay in because we want to get 3 ABs against. If a dude was still in the game after 5 innings, I mean, he was dealing against us.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, if that guy can go 5 innings and then pass the baton, then you're in a good spot. All right. I want to switch it up for you real quick. As we're talking about postseason, clutch postseason moments.
Ooh. You talking about yours?
We can
the
talk
ones
about
that
yours
we've noticed. We've
all of
been
it.
witness.
We got time. This is our show. We can talk about it all.
You know what?
We can talk about it all.
I'm going to talk about 2. And one was for me and against our Phillies.
Yeah.
But one happened prior to that against my Oakland A's. Kirk Gibson.
Do tell. Oh, yeah.
88 World Series.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
I was mad. I mean, I was a kid. I was mad as hell at Tony La Russa. And Eckersley, I think he may have been like close to MVP that year or something. Whatever the highest award they would have given him, he was there because he was just dealing that year. But I remember as a kid, I think it was Game 1 in the World Series 2 in L.A., I think. Whichever game it was in L.A., the first game in L.A. And I'm watching, and first of all, we have the Bash brothers. Yeah. Mark McGuire, Ricky, Canseco, Lansford.
Steinbach. Yeah.
There's first of all, there's no way we lose to the Dodgers because who's on their team?
Yeah,
that's
true.
As an American League player, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, as a guy, that's what I'm thinking. Like, who do they have? Yeah. They have no chance. This is going to be over quick, early, fast, knockout.
The A's at that time were like the coolest team.
Bro. But yeah, the Bash brother, bang.
Yeah.
And so Kirk Gibson comes up. He can't walk.
Nope.
And I remember, watching him, and of course you remember it now because they show it all the time, him fouling off pitches on one leg. Yeah. And as a kid, I can still go back and say, why can't you finish this guy off? Just throw him a sinker. Do not throw the slider because he doesn't have bat speed. I didn't know, all the things that I know now, but I knew that he wasn't getting around on the fastball. He was late and he was struggling. You can see him getting, obviously taking much better swings, but it's like, bro, just throw that 2-seamer that you always do off the side of the plate. If he beats you, we knew this as a kid. If someone's going to beat you, make them beat you the other way. Don't give him the pull side.
Exactly.
Anyhow, he throws a slider. And Gibby is running around the bases, pumping that fist. I was heartbroken, Rob.
Bro, he hit that thing on one leg.
On one leg.
With one hand.
And it was halfway up the bleachers.
Yeah, bro. He got to check that bat, bro. He got that good wood.
That
was that's that big league wood right there.
Hey, when you spin him, you hang it, he bang it.
Yeah.
So that was one that broke my heart. And to this day, I'm still mad at Tony. And it's not his fault. It's baseball. But as a kid, you're the manager. You knew better. That's what it was. Tony, I love you, but my A's, we were supposed to get that. But then in '93, I know the Phillies fans won't love this, but understand.
I remember that.
I'm a Ricky Henderson fan first. I grew up in Oakland. He went to school with the rival high school of my dad's. They lived a couple blocks away, so I've been a Ricky fan since I was a kid. That was my favorite player, still is to this day. So when Joe Carter hit that walk-off home run, clutch moment, we all have had walk-off hits. We all have had walk-off home runs, but not in the World Series.
No.
Not to win it.
No.
That right there, it didn't make up for 88, but it made me feel a little better because Ricky got another ring, and that's all I cared about. Nothing to do against the Phillies. You know, I love my Phils. That's my city, city of brotherly love, but my Rick at the time. Plus, I didn't know y'all was going to draft me. Let's just be real. I didn't know y'all was going to draft me 3 years later. I'm going to keep that thing 100.
So as we were talking about the Eckersley Gibson at bat, it immediately took me to the Joe Carter, Mitch Williams at bat, because I was thinking slider. And the slider, and I love you, Mitch. You know I do. The slider was it was filthy. It was a pitcher's pitch.
Especially to a right-handed hitter.
Right. To where I was like, how did this dude hit the ball? Like, it could have hit him. That was clearly a blackout moment right there. That's what I like to call a blackout moment.
You called it blackout moments.
Yeah.
It happens.
Because I'm sure, because you got to some balls that you hit that you were like, I have no clue how I got to that ball.
For sure.
At all. Like, that ball was like in here on my hands and I did this or whatever it was. But that was one of the filthiest pitches. But to be able to do it and then go back to back.
I know.
Was definitely a huge
no
moment.
doubt.
Like you said, to do it in a World Series, man, that is the epitome of where you want to be.
I'm trying to sit there and feel what it must have felt like to hit a walk-off home run to win a World Series. And I remember the announcer saying, you've hit home runs before, but none bigger than this. You know what I'm saying? Just how it went. And I was jumping up and down like a little kid. I'm not even a Blue Jay fan at that moment.
Right.
I don't care about the Blue Jays. No. I like Joe Carter, but Ricky got a ring.
Yeah.
I think Ricky worked a walk-off of Mitch, and you know that he does that better than anyone else. That's what he does. But man, that was one heck of a moment. But I'm going to stay here because you know we're going to brag a little bit. We're going to pop our collars around here. This is what we do. Rye.
Yes, sir.
You've had some postseason moments yourself, and one in particular was it 08-09 against Colorado?
09.
09.
That was 09.
09. First round divisional series.
Yep, first round.
And we're in Colorado.
We owed them.
Yeah, we owed them. They
just
they just knocked our heads off in 07.
Yeah.
And it was starting to feel like that a little bit again. Like even in the regular season, that is not an easy place to play ball.
No.
It is not. 20 runs doesn't seem like enough because anything can happen. The field is big, balls jump. It was just a matchup for us that somehow worked out in their favor. But we get down to was that the top of 8 or top of 9?
9.
Top of 9th.
We're in 9.
And Houston Street is coming up.
Yep.
And we're coming off the field. And you said some words. And I'll let you repeat them because they're your words. What did you tell us?
I don't know what happened. Bro, I just went down to the end of the dugout and I just started pacing back and forth. And I just started getting like hyped up and just getting built up and getting built up and getting built up. I think I was like 5th or 6th.
Yep. Deep.
I was like
getting
deep
chills
in there.
listening to this.
And I just walked from the one end of the dugout all the way down to by Charlie and everybody. And I was like, get me to the fucking plate, boys. Just get me to the fucking plate. And that was it. And y'all know I don't never say anything.
I don't never say anything.
And it was, I saw Chase's head whip around like
everybody's eyes went like this. It was like it was we have an assignment.
Yep.
It was no longer, you know, it's always winning the game, but it was no longer winning the game. It was pass the baton back to our thing. That was our rallying cry. Pass the baton. Rye said, get him to the plate. So now, as a hitter, is what do I need to do to get to the next guy?
Right.
What do I need to do to get to the next guy? What do I need to do to get to the next guy? Kind of like you're talking about was the '86 Mets when they were saying no one wants to make the last out.
Nobody wants.
It was the same mentality. It's what do I need to do to make sure Ryan is on with somebody up so that it counts.
Because I think we had this conversation before.
I was locked, bro. I mean, you know, I got locked. First of all, you got me locked in 06 when you won MVP. I was like, bro, he sleeps on my couch. He hits home runs much further than I do, but I could hit that many in my mind. I know I could hit 58, whatever it was. But so there were 2 moments that you just said something or I was so close to you. I'm like, this is tangible. And that was the second moment in the playoffs where you just said, "Get me to the plate." And I remember my antennas went up, and it was like, I'm not making it out. I don't know what I have to do. I'm not a guy I don't like to get hit.
Right.
But if the ball is close enough, I'm getting hit this time.
Right.
Because the next, I got to do what I have to do to get Ryan up.
We were down by like two or something like that. And we needed it.
Yeah, we needed it.
Because they were starting to feel the momentum.
Yes, they were.
I think this game would have tied the series.
Yep. And then
I think we had to either go back to Philly or we had to go. Yeah, I think we would have had to go back to Philly to play the deciding game.
Yep.
And I was just like, get me to the plate. We're going to win this game. And so you got it. Shane got on. And then the next thing I knew, I was like, I'm up. Because I knew Houston. I played with them in like the fall league, in Arizona Fall League.
Okay.
So I knew, the little smooth little slide to the side, and he had the little sinker.
Yep.
I was like, if I bring it up, it's a wrap. If I can bring this pitch up to my knees, it's a wrap. And I was like, that was one of the only times I ever really felt like I'm about to hit a home run off this guy. Mm-hmm. And I just hit it with a little bit of top spin. Mm-hmm. And I just remember getting to second base, and I looked, and I saw Chase like going into home plate later. And I was like, I put my arms out. I was like, what happened? Because I guess like Shane missed third and had to tag it because Chase was scoring from first.
Right.
And then Jason came up the next at bat. J-Dub came up with the next AB, got the knock that knocked me in. And I think we wound up winning like 4-2 or something like that. But it was just one of those moments, man, where I just got locked in and was just ready for the moment. Because Charlie used to tell us all the time, man, you gotta want to hit.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready to hit. You gotta want to hit. And that's what I think we had that mentality about going into. Now, fast forward, because we won that game.
Yeah. Some
of us didn't have to fly back to Philly. We just went ahead and flew to LA.
Oh, you mean at PJ?
Yeah. So we went. Now, fast forward in the NLCS that year. Mm-hmm. We're playing the Dodgers, and there's this dude, number 11, who was on our team, leading off. We get into the situation. I forget which game it was, but Jonathan Broxton.
Right, game 5.
Please,
it was a game 5 walk.
Take us through that.
So it's funny because it was no different. Mm-hmm. We know the Dodgers are a good matchup. We had the 3 at home. We did not want to go back to LA. That was just what it was. We didn't want to go back to LA. We knew that. Right. We have to get it done now. And I remember, as Charlie tells it, who was the bench? Was it Jimmy Williams our bench coach?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy Williams our bench coach.
Yeah.
And he was like, speaking of Dobbs, he's like, hey, man, we got to get him up to the plate. We got Broxton. He's a good fastball hitter. I see his little goatee and everything.
Oh, Goad. Ross Glode.
Yeah, you go. Ross Glode.
Yeah.
We got to get Ross up to the plate. Charlie turned around and was like, yeah, we need to get J-Roll up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? And these are moments we don't hear it happening because, once again, we're locking ourselves in. Like, what needs to be done? And like you, I'm 5-6 batters deep.
Right. And
it may happen, but it's a probability. It probably won't. Broxton, who's been lights out all year, who's done well. Yes, we got him last year, the previous year in 08. But he starts saying at some point, it starts to revert back to the pitcher because they have the advantage. A couple walks later, I think Ross Glode ended up either flying out, but whatever it was, he didn't hit into a double play.
Right.
And I'm on deck. And I'm like, he has 0 speed. And this is not a shot at him. He has 0 speed.
Glody was one of those dudes, like, you wanted him to put it in the seats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get in the gap, get in the air, but do not hit it on the ground. And it didn't happen. And I was like, thank God. So now it goes back to pass the baton. Mm-hmm. In my mind, a 3-run home run would be absolutely gorgeous. I've never walked off a playoff game with a 3-run home run. That'd be fantastic. Reminds me of Joe Carter. People I've seen do it before. Big Papi. I've seen guys do this before. Then you go, hold on, slow down. What needs to be done? And it's funny because these moments and these things are going through your head instantaneously. It's as one comes in, another one goes out. One comes in, another one goes out. Try to get the home run. Just get the hit. If I get the hit and we tie the game, Shane's behind me. If he doesn't get the hit, I've done my job. The pressure's off him. It wasn't on him to get it done because I did my job.
Right.
And so I was taking that responsibility on myself. And then it's like, nah, but a home run would be cool. Just get a single. home run to be cool. Now I'm stepping in the box. All this going before you. It's crazy. All this happens before you get in the box. So I'm like, okay, I've worked on this. See the ball, hit the ball, just catch it. Just my Barry Bonds drill. Just catch it.
That's
Boom.
It.
Simplified. He throws 100. Why am I going to try to swing 100 miles per hour to match it? Just catch it.
Yeah.
Ball one. Or I think maybe a strike one, slider cut or whatever it was, one go over the top. I'm like, all right, you took your shot. Go back down, get the single. A single over the second baseman head to be perfect. Bruntley's going to score. There's not going to be a play. If I hit it right at Ethier and right, it's going to be a play. Hit it at Kemp and center, it's going to be a play. All these things are going through my head. Get back in the box. Ball one. Now this is at the point where I faced Broxton enough to know that I'm saying 1-1 counts. I know he likes the slider. It's devastating. This is a 1-1 count. The pitcher's ahead. 2 strikes to me, 3 balls to him. He's ahead. In the past, I always said 1-1 count, he's going to throw me a slider because he knows I can hit the fastball. And he always threw a fastball. And I was always late and popped it up, trying to play catch up. I'm like, you know what? I remember the Gibson story. As sure as I'm standing here, Eckersley's going to throw me that slider. And it's funny because it's like they were teaching me lessons in that moment. As sure as I'm standing here, he's going to throw me a fastball. Just catch it. Just get the single. The game is tied. Took a deep breath. I stepped back in the box, and he threw a fastball. And it was a blackout moment. I don't remember it. I didn't see the ball go in the gap or anything. And it really was when I watched the replays that I realized what happened. Although I realized what happened in the game, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't until I watched the replays. And the funny thing is, even after watching the replays, it was like I shocked myself.
Right.
I was trying to literally like bunt the ball over the second baseman's head for a single. But when I watched the replay, it was a full swing, like I was trying to get it swing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. That's those blackout moments. I did not know that because in my mind, I simplified it. Do this, and it's a tie game. Then the ball's going in the gap, and I'm running, but I still don't see the ball. I just see Ethier and Kemp going out to the gap, and I'm watching, Chooch Bruntley score, and then I see Chooch coming around and scoring, and as he's getting in between second and third, I see the ball start coming in. So now baseball instincts kick back in. I keep running to third, just in case he, for some reason, messes up and tries to throw to third. That run scores, I'll just stop.
Right.
Period. But Frick Hall never made the throw. Then I get to third, and I turn around. Who's the first person I see? Big Piece. And it was like, it looks like I'm celebrating, throwing my hands out. And I think I've told you this. I turned around. I see a big 6'4" brother coming down on me like a linebacker. And I'm really just trying to open myself up and embrace the hit. I was like, oh, and it looks like I'm celebrating. Then he picks me up like a little teddy bear and just rocks me in his cradle arms and just pushed me down. And I was like, oh, that wasn't bad at all. And that's when it came back, the noise, everything.
I wasn't coming at you like Bobby with them kidney shots on walk-offs and stuff. Bobby Abreu used to hit you with the kidney shots and stuff. Yeah. I was like, man, hitting walk-offs are painful, bro. You're not supposed to get beat up. So
they are.
Now you just get stripped.
Yep. Yeah, you just get stripped butt naked.
They rip your jersey off or whatever.
But those were moments, and that we lived through that.
Yeah.
For me, it was great to go through. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it was. I guess it was finally my turn because I've watched you do it. I've watched Chase do it. I've watched Shane do it, and my moment came, and I was able to execute on that moment. J-Dub getting the big hit in Colorado. Jeff Jenkins, Pat Burrow, guys that we played with that helped us win a World Series, come up with those big hits, and it was always when it mattered most. So, as we talked about it, locking in, you don't have to work for it. It happens. And when that moment's there, all your work and preparation, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your work and preparation and believe that, this is my time and all I have to do is my job, the hero part of your mind and your ego goes away. I'm not here to be a hero. I'm here to do my job. Yeah. The results will be viewed as, oh, you came through, you're the hero. Right. But in that moment, I'm simplifying it. I can get a hit off this guy. I can hit 100.
Yeah.
I can make that jump shot. I can go up and make this one-handed grab. I can make that pass. I can make that tackle, whatever it is. You simplify it back to its roots and its fundamentals of getting a job done.
Yeah. I love that, because as you were saying, and I was thinking even further back to how many times when you were a kid playing, either playing
With
baseball
yourself
or
or
just
your
playing with
friends,
your
yeah.
friends, and it was like bottom of the ninth, 3-2, 2 outs, game on the line. It's that visualization of seeing yourself in those situations. And like I said, Charlie told us all the time, you got to want to hit. Like you got to want to be in those situations. Like that's where the greats, the Mamba mentality of the late great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Jordan, LeBron, like those guys had that killer instinct because they knew that they visualized it.
They've done it before.
They've done it
a
before.
million times.
So that when you got to the situation, this is just
Right.
This is normal for me.
Right.
Like this isn't new. There's nothing for me to be nervous about because I've been in this situation over and over and over. I'm shooting these free throws with the game on the line because I've been doing that, practicing
playing
that.
these games in your head.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it is like you said, it's the preparation. So when you practice, I tell kids all the time, man, it's like when you practice, you got to practice with a purpose, right? Practice and act as though the game is on the line, so that when you get in a situation and the game is actually on the line, you've been here before.
You've worked through your nerves. You know how to take that deep breath. You know what you did in practice that made you unsuccessful versus what made you successful. Right. Now tap into that. Right. And I'm glad you went there because you're 100% correct. That moment when you said, get me to the plate, get me to the fucking plate. You lived that as a kid.
Right.
The many times 3-2, pop up, do it again. 3-2, pop up, do it again. 3-2, pop up, do it again. 3-2, home run, got it. 3-2, home run, got it. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you go out and do the same thing. 3-2 pop-ups. 3-2 I struck out. It doesn't matter because I'm still working my way through it. I know I can do it. It's the belief. And in those moments when you don't do it, it's not like you quit.
Right.
You say, okay, maybe that was a foul ball. Maybe he dropped it. You always visualize yourself coming out on top. Yep. And so when those moments happen and and you execute, yes, you're happy, you're excited, you're elated, you're thrilled. But it's felt like I've been here before because we actually have.
I want to do this real quick as we start to get ready to wrap up.
Yes, sir.
If you could win a championship in another sport, what would it be?
In another sport? So, wow. You know what? In another sport, I would say that it's close, but I maybe soccer,
bro. I'm with you on that. I was gonna say soccer.
Like I thought the Super Bowl because it's freaking one game, all on the line. It's something that really the world stops and watches.
Yeah,
but a global game. That soccer or football is, and you're involved. Crystal Palace, I think it is.
Yes, I am.
Crystal Palace, rising owner.
Yes,
let's throw that out there. But it's a global game, and I look at guys, like Ronaldo and Mbappe, wherever they go. Messi's another one. Wherever they go, they're recognized as the best.
Yeah.
In baseball, you recognize as the best baseball team, football, the best football team, basketball, the best basketball team. Obviously, everybody has their stars. But in soccer, there's one star. There usually aren't multiple stars on the team. There's, guys that will score. They're good, but there's the one star.
Yeah.
And not for that purpose, but the fact that everything falls on your head when things go wrong. And personally, you get the appraise when everything goes right.
Right.
And I've never been famous. I'm known around the streets of Philadelphia, but that's fame. And I don't want fame, but what I see for soccer players, it's just a different level. And I'm like, that is dope.
It is.
It is dope.
I would echo that on the soccer level. I mean, obviously, for us, it would be like trying to win like a gold medal to be able to play on a worldly, global level baseball wise, right? But soccer, you got the World Cup coming up here in a couple of years, man. Here in America, in North America, I'm sorry, I should say, between Canada, U.S., and Mexico. That is, I've always loved soccer. I played soccer until about 8th grade.
Was actually you were too big and heavy to play Pop Warner football? Like CC?
My mom wouldn't let me play. My mom would not let me play football.
So my older brother played, but she wouldn't. Just being, No,
I mean, because I probably would have been fine playing football, but like I played the other football.
Oh, okay.
I played the other football.
Yeah.
And I loved it, dude. I loved it.
It helps your footwork. You can dance.
Oh, man, you know that.
I mean, you might have some trouble catching the ball at first base, but you got them foots.
You know that, man? Hey, bro. A little light on my feet, you know what I mean? It may not necessarily be on the running side, but, I can get light on my feet when I need to.
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, I love it. And to all the points that you talked about with it being such a global game, and those guys are stars. Like, they go places, it's like,
it's different.
It's just people faint. It's like the Beatles. It's like Michael Jackson. It's like Rolling Stones. Like people are passing out. Like I don't think there was anybody passing out from me and you coming anywhere.
No, we got some boobies showing. No, they're probably showing some boobies.
Yeah, we was hoping somebody might pass out and be all right, but whatever. But it was but it's next level. And I mean, like obviously the money in the games today. Like dudes are making, 800, 900 million, $1 billion. Dudes are getting offered $1 billion for 1 year.
Right.
For 1 year.
They understand the marketing power of that.
Yeah. I need to go dust my cleats off, bro.
You still got it?
Hey, bro. Hey, if they offering the top dude, $1 billion, you might be able to get like 20.
That's it.
Be on the bench.
Give me 1% of that.
Come sit on the bench.
I'm good to go sit on the bench.
Hey, bro, I'll pass out water with the best
I'll
of
go
them.
hang out in Spain, Europe,
Dubai.
Just let me.
They'd
You know what?
like,
Let me hold your jacket.
Like,
be the water boy. I got you, player.
Right. They were like, they didn't even show up for the team bus. He was over here. Wait, look at Instagram. He's over here touring. He's out here touring right now. We got a game.
Easy call, but that would be it for me.
I would love that.
Would be soccer.
I would love that because I think with like the Champions League, the UEFA Champions League, between that and then the World Cup.
Yep.
I mean,
dope.
And I think with what's going on here in America with MLS,
growing, the game is growing.
Yeah, the game is continuing
I'm in LA.
to grow.
You have a couple football clubs out there, women's and men's. Beautiful.
Yeah. My hometown, St. Louis, finally got an MLS team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, St. Louis is a huge soccer town, bro.
I didn't know that.
Huge. It's massive.
Really?
But I think when you can get to that point to where MLS can continue to grow, I think between MLS, the Mexican League, which there could maybe there's a merger. I don't know, maybe down the road, but you continue to grow that talent base here in North America, and then you get those games against Europe.
Right.
Man, it's really going to grow the game here, I think, in America. And I think the World Cup coming to America is going to help grow the game. And I think if the U.S. men's team can have a good showing, because this is probably one of the most, if not the most talented men's national teams out here. If they can have a great showing, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, win the damn thing, bro, I think soccer in America will explode.
Right.
I think it'll explode.
I have a question, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
You're on the team, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I got, a slither.
That doesn't matter. You get tickets.
What's that? I can
you
get
can go to games, get a suite. You know somebody.
I know people.
Have I ever been invited to go watch a football game with you? The answer is no. The answer is no. Don't think about it. Don't think too hard. Study long, study wrong. The answer is no.
And that was a little bit aggressive.
That's how I feel. I'll let you sleep on my couch. I'm talking to my fans. I'll let this man sleep on my couch. Rent a room because he was standing like the DoubleTree. I'm like, no, you're not standing at the DoubleTree.
Hey, they got good cookies over at the DoubleTree.
Hey, hold on, player. He has a sliver of a soccer team. Ooh, a sliver. He can get me in there, bro. I'll pay for the ticket, meaning the plane ticket. I'll take care of the room. Just get me to the game, bro. Y'all hear you hear it here first. You hear it here first.
You know what?
So, Rye, I'm talking to my people. Give me 1 second.
Talk to the people.
I think we should take a poll. How many people out there think that Ryan Howard should invite me, Jimmy Rollins, to go watch Crystal Palace play? It's simple.
I think that's
Let me know.
I think that's a great idea. We have to rectify the situation. And luckily I know some people. We can make this happen.
No doubt.
We can rectify this situation.
Yes, we can.
I
would appreciate that.
It's been you're right. Sometimes
How many years?
Sometimes you just got to take a knee. You know what I mean? You just got to take this one on the chin. Bounce back. Go to your corner. Hey, get the cut. get the cut cleaned up, come back out the next round. That's it. Don't stop the fight. Don't stop the fight. Don't throw the towel. Don't throw the damn towel. We're going to rectify this situation. We're going to get this man out to a Crystal Palace game. We're going to get him some Crystal Palace gear, okay? We might even try to sneak him in the game. They're going to be like, who's that dude? It'd be Jimmy, making 20, passing out water on the bench. Oh, man, what an episode. What an episode.
So, Peace, I think there's something that's been long coming. We've heard about it for years. You guys need to do something. So I'm finally glad we took the time and we had people, see the vision for us to do something like this. There's a lot more to be discovered and covered. Baseball, sports, health, finance, things that are all to come in the future. But, I have to say, bro, I enjoy doing these things with you, dog.
Man, back at you, bro. I mean, it's from day one, from let me crash on the couch.
Yes, sir.
And it was we just had this different chemistry, the big brother, little brother, figuratively and literally.
Like twins.
Yeah, relationship.
Like twins.
To where it's like, man, it's only right. It's only right to be able to do this and just be able to have fun, man, and enjoy each other and just be able to share it with everybody. So we're glad that y'all are all here with us with the 611 podcast.
Sir.
Keep it coming. We're going to keep it coming. And without, we are out.